Dude, Taco.
Okay, guys, we're gonna get right into it.
He's so cute.
There's been a number of issues that have popped up over the last 3 weeks to a month that have been pretty prevalent in PD that have been brought to me by a number of people that play criminals and PD alike. And it's past the point where we can't not deal with these issues anymore, and we need to talk about them.
Talk to him, Raph.
Come up with real solutions for these and real changes throughout the PD. Because if this continues,
that was Cali, bro. I hate Cali.
The actions I have to take are much more punitive. In terms
I said
of
it
like
this morning,
kind of fucking
dude. The
PD
homeless problem there is
process
fucking insane,
and other things, and
man.
I don't really want to do that.
Insane.
So it's important for us to have
you
this
can't walk
conversation.
Anywhere, bro.
The reason why this isn't like other conversations and we've done just like a open channel is because a lot of times when we have those, people just ramble, talk, and just put things over time all the time. We're not going to do that this time. I want this to be less than an hour, in and out. We have some good conversations. People who want to talk and add something meaningful to a discussion can absolutely do that and raise their hand. But we're not going to be doing a thing where people are just going to just ramble on. I don't have time for that, and half the people in here don't have time for that, and it's not going to happen. So apologies. I want to be open and inclusive to people's opinions, but there has to be a
I know
limit to
North
that,
Cal is
especially
really
in a room
nice.
where many people are creating content right now. So let's just get into this. The big crux of the issue, I think, comes down to an identity crisis for the entirety of the LSPD. I think it also comes down to the introduction of the Rangers and people not understanding a core concept, which I want to break down before we get into the individual issues. The core concept is that you can't have 50 Conan Clarksons, 50 Bustin' Ciders, 50 berries. You can't. You cannot have that. It is not reasonable. It is not a realistic expectation of anyone within PD. And if you have been playing a normal police character for a long time and you decide that you are going to change, you're going to do a complete about face, and then you're all of a sudden going to be the dumb cop, right? Or the silly cop or the content cop. Well, first of all, you need to know how to do that. Number one, people like Hutch and ZB as great examples, and Ramee, they may troll you and have a good time and make content with you, and it can be funny. But what they're not doing afterwards is fucking the criminal afterwards. When a criminal opts in to your corruption and, you basically literally using the tools that you have to power game and shit on them, right? For a funny bit,
brother, preach.
You do not get to then throw them to jail for 200, 300, 400, 500, 600 months. You cannot, if it goes this way, the problem comes down to that PD are expecting no consequences for the dumb shit that they do, but giving maximum consequences to criminals.
Yep.
And that will not be tolerated.
We've been trying to make sure it doesn't happen for a year now.
Behavior happen, the people that are doing that, you will be brought in just like everyone else for power gaming, for fail RP, for any number of rules in which you are breaching, to be honest. Like I can make a list, right? There's a section in our rules that I want to point to for everyone that says that we are lax on our rules for things that give mutually beneficial and good roleplay to both parties. We won't enforce an RDM if it was good for roleplay. We won't enforce a numbers rule if it was good for roleplay and both groups agreed. We won't enforce a number of our rules if it was good for roleplay and it was good for everyone, right, involved, and it made sense to do it. And we have no problem with that whatsoever, right? But this problem is becoming a major issue within the police force, and it needs to get fixed.
What up, Greg?
It has to get fixed. Like, I'm sorry. I can't have 50 berries running around that don't know how to read the room. Barry knows how to read the room. The 50 copycats don't know how to read the room. And I know there's been a big disparity with a lot of people in LSPD coming and say, well, why can they do it, but not us? It's because they are properly reading the room and not ruining the experience for other people in general. And that's the reality of the situation. If you don't have the tact and ability to read the room, you can't be content farming and trolling the shit out of people and then sending them to jail for 200, 300 months. That just makes you a shitty role player. That's just the truth. And it's happening. Or what's happening is someone gets into a bit with the Rangers and then the criminals are put to the LSPD, or the LSPD picks up the person because they have a warrant or whatever, and they have zero ability to read the room, and they just fuck them.
This is the conversation.
And
This is why I was so aggravated
like,
at the Tinker stuff, because we talked about this prior.
Court charges,
and then the Tinker thing happened,
huts,
and yeah, that's why I lost my cool on it.
They'll try to, even
now
when
you
it comes
guys
down
understand.
to like people are charging kidnapping charges on incidents with the Rangers when the verbiage doesn't even allow for those situations to charge for that. It's ridiculous. And people in this room, they know better, because you're taught in academy. It's been reiterated by me, and it's been reiterated by everyone in the community that the PD is meant to be role play first. So the people who are doing this, you need to get your shit together, because you're ruining this for everyone. Seriously, everyone you are ruining this for. You're ruining it for the Rangers. You're ruining it for people like Hutch that have come in here and have fostered a good environment. You're ruining for people like Ramee, who started the concept of the park rangers so many moons ago, right? And this type of foolery that's going on. You're ruining it for people that are coming in here and trying to give people a genuinely good time, because you don't know how to read the room. And instead of sitting down and trying to figure things out,
absolutely, Jagged,
and try to learn, and then try to operate role play and do things in moderation. Instead, what people are doing is they're sitting down and they're saying, why can't I do that? I'm going to do that. This is unfair. No, it's not unfair, because I would let you do it if you did it the right way. If you weren't persecuting the majority of our player base. If you weren't taking the majority of the players on the server and putting them into jail. Literally. You're giving them out of character punishments for being good sports and shaking hand and going with a bit for the sake of role play. It is not okay. It's not okay. And it needs to change. And that's really what the crux of this meeting is. We'll get into it, because this is a culture that has seeped its way through the entirety of the PD. And I want to point out a lot of things to everyone so that we have a clear understanding and basis of where the problems are. So I have a list. And it's a good list.
A damn good list.
Cell processing time is taking forever. This has been a problem that I've been getting complained about incessantly from criminals for over 2 months. That cell processing time is taking in excess of an hour. If cell processing time takes excess of an hour, that is unacceptable. Cell processing time shouldn't take beyond 15 to 20 minutes for the majority of cases. The only way over an hour should happen is if it is a mutually beneficial
Bird on the server? No.
scene
Bird is just
where there's
one of the lead
interrogation
admins.
and mutual role play. That is the only occurrence where that should happen. At that point, you should have just put them in prison anyway. The person should have just said, I'm guilty. And they shouldn't have given you the time to put role play in front of you.
Yeah, Loaded owns it. Yes, sir.
And this is not a one-off issue. This is the majority of PD is doing this. Just because you want to go through 500 case files, just because you've decided that you want to try to tag on shit that you didn't do before, just because you've decided you want to put a charge on someone, it doesn't give you the right to rush it through. Which brings me to my next point. There's a large amount of PD that are denying cell RP in general. And what I mean by that is that we tried to aid and help you because many of you came to me with frustrations, right? That the lawyers were the problem, that the lawyers were salt mining you guys, that they were content farming you, that they were the reason for cell processing being so long. Well, guess what, guys?
Ravage, she's the
cell processing time is now longer.
prodigy lead.
And the lawyers have been pretty much, their wings have been clipped. You guys have all the power. All of it. And look what you're doing with it.
Preach, Rav. Preach, brother.
Cops are not discussing or backing down on charges. It's like cops have 2 Q-tips stuck in their ears and they don't want to listen. You're talking at people, not to them. That's a problem. This is a roleplay server, guys. You are at the front line of our server in terms of RP interactions, and you're shitting on people who are coming for the RP interaction. You are not role-playing with them. You're not role-playing with the lawyers, and you're not listening. It's a big part of role play. Is that not only do you have to talk, you have to listen. And that's incredibly important for the PD. You're not allowing lawyers to do their jobs, to argue cases. You're shutting them down, trying to shove them out of the cells. You're denying them the ability to have probable cause hearings in which a framework is properly laid out, in which when a criminal's arrested, they have the right to a lawyer.
Appreciate you, brother.
You're waiting to the very last minute to call a lawyer when you're in the cells and you have everything done instead of doing it in a timely manner. Why are you not calling lawyers when you catch the criminal and they ask for one? Why are you not calling a lawyer from the hospital? Why are you not taking the steps to make sure that a lawyer is present there? Because it's good for you and it's good for them. It's good for all sides. When
anything
you do
with
that.
a 40 series GPU and stay away from
Intel. The time to leave whatever they're doing and get to the cells.
40 series GPU, no Intel.
So that the role play is not put with a giant blocker. It's not okay. You guys are being sly. A large amount of the PD are being sly, and you're not allowing court. You're not allowing prison transports. And just basic things that people have the right to do for their role play, just based on vibes. And that is not okay, because I took the time, and this is where I'm frustrated, is I took the time to write the entirety of your SOPs. I gave you a cheat sheet. I put it into small digestible blocks. That took tens of hours that I don't have, and I didn't have at the time. I definitely did not have that time to do it.
Much love, bro.
I took the time because you guys gave the feedback that there was not a good enough framework. There is now, and it's really disrespectful, not just to myself, but to everyone that plays on the server, that you don't take the time. It's 3 pages with blocks. All you have to do is look at the 3 pages with the blocks on them. It has most of the answers in the lowest form there. Come on, guys.
Thank you guys for the subs.
We need to get with it.
Legends. Love
Criminals
y'all.
are allowed court cases. They are allowed probable cause hearings.
Ravage Carter, no.
I'm sorry. You just don't get to book people not
Ravage
guilty just because you fucking feel like it. Because here's the next problem. The thing I know all of you know, and this is what makes this even more shitty, is the fact that you know that you're making court cases take weeks and holding people in hut forever. And what's shitty about that is because I was very clear that if you don't have the ability to persecute someone, that you haven't met your burden yet, if you don't have the case done, if you cannot articulate in a moment with evidence what the charge is, you're not supposed to be charging people.
Who did that, by the way?
So what's going on?
Do you know? The 7-day thing?
Guys, on a base level of roleplay, I want you to understand that that is power gaming. The very definition of what you're doing to our player base is you're power gaming them. And I will not tolerate that. Not anymore. You've had your growing time. This shit is not happening. And if players do this, if you're just putting people in jail for weeks at a time, that is contrary to the vision for Prodigy. You are messing with Prodigy as a community, as a business, and with everyone that plays here. And I'm sorry, but I have to draw a line where it is very clear that if you are coming to a place where your enjoyment of the server is conflicting with multiple people's enjoyment, I'm going to choose the multiple people. And I need that to be clear. I'm choosing the community. And I don't give a shit, and I want to be very clear. I don't give a shit if people like it or not. You will be removed out of character, in character. I do not give a shit. Because what matters most is the health of this community. And I don't care if people complain, whine, cry about it. The reality is that if a criminal broke a rule, they'd get banned. If a criminal broke a rule with a whitelist, we'd remove it from them. The same is going to go for the cops. It has to. And I don't know why people try to make this weird argument of semantics of like it's somehow different, that it's bad when we remove people out of character, we're gonna do it, and I don't care. So write it down. This stuff is problematic on a bigger level than what anyone here is considering. You are destroying our player base. You're mining them. Some of you, not even for content, because you're not even streaming. And that is not okay. Needs to fix. Period. It's not up for debate, discussion, those things. I am not allowing players to be put on huts for weeks at a time, and I am not allowing players to be given zero agency in terms of being offered role play in their defense. That's it. It's seriously not up for debate. Okay, so that's the court case piece. The next thing that we have outside of that,
Ravage is doing a community meeting right now.
There's an extreme aggressiveness and lack of fair play, which makes the topic we just talked about extreme. This next point is what makes the above one so bad. We have the cops right now have basically every way and circumstance and standard that we set for prodigy policing that was so well respected for so long is being thrown out the window in terms of the fair play. And I know that a lot of people have my back in terms of the high command with this point. We have a lot of officers just torpedoing people in the bumpers over and 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 over again in the middle of chases. We teach you how to pit, and we do that not because it's just an in-character thing. We do it because we know that just scraping someone's bumper over and 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 over again, you're breaking their car. You know what you're doing. The vast majority of people have played GTA for a very long time that pick up, and you know that you are causing damage to their car every time you ram their bumper.
Fuck yeah.
And I know there's people here that know exactly what they're doing.
Fuck yeah.
It's intentional. But I'm not stupid. So, you will be dealt with for people doing this. We have a full host of reasons when you're supposed to PBS and the proper way to do it. And I understand there is bubble issues and things like that, but when you constantly are bumping someone and you're saying you're doing it over and over and over and over and over and over again, you're just being an asshole. People like you contribute to the consistent SWAT mentality. You contribute to the over-aggressiveness of criminals. You contribute to an ongoing issue within our server that leads to ruining the majority of PD's play experience because all you're doing is pissing people off, getting them salty, and making them pull a gun and shoot you and other people. The next thing, ramming cars at high speeds.
Now this is not me.
There's rules for this, guys.
The pitting, that's me. This,
Can
not
people
me.
type maybe in the PD chat and tell me what are the miles per hour limit for pits?
80. No. I try and keep it 80 unless they swap 95 times. When they swap 4 fucking times, then I start slamming them.
People
it's 75
at 140 miles per hour.
See, I don't do that. I do not 140 pit. You fucking liars. I do not. I do not.
Yes.
That's bullshit.
Absolutely meme on me right now, and I know that.
That's bullshit.
I'll meme on him later. Okay? Trying to get through this list.
Sorry. Yo, stop fucking with them.
The boxing people. This is happening a lot. The people aren't boxing in realistic scenarios. They're ramming people into the walls to box them. That's not how you fucking box, guys. And let's also talk about something. If you're a solo officer trying to box someone in a car of 4 or 5 people with an inordinate amount of SMGs on the street, can we talk about how brain dead that is? It's literally you're taught the complete opposite in all cop role play. How does that absolutely make any sense?
Hold on a minute. Hey. There was 3 people in that car, doing? Not 4, 3. 3 people.
And this has happened a lot, so I can say that this is a large amount of the police force.
3 people.
And the next thing is just people just playing bumper cars like bang, 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 just like using the criminal's car like a pinball on a pinball machine.
That's me. Wait, that's not me.
Not everyone is
that's
CG,
not
guys.
me.
Not everyone is ESP.
That's not
Not
me.
everyone is BSK.
That
Not everyone is
not
Haiti.
me.
You force
I spin them
smaller
out.
gangs or
I
gangs
spin
that
them out.
aren't as mechanically sound as these gangs off the server because you treat everyone the same
Sorry, baby.
with the same
Yeah,
level
sorry.
of energy all the time. No, I'm not referencing Bang Bang gets caught more than anyone. How can I reference them in the same?
Good to have you back.
Oh, sorry, South. Okay. The next thing, the bad etiquette in general. For some reason, all of a sudden we've got people instant pulling tasers in all chases and just tasing people, not saying anything, nothing. That's the new thing we have. I thought, honestly, I can't
Not
remember
me.
who brought this up.
This ain't me.
Actually, it
Not
might
this
have been-
time.
Was it you, Maximus? Did you bring this up? Or was it Ramee?
Yeah, I'm good on this one. I
Maybe
never
someone else
tased a
entirely.
motherfucker.
Someone brought up to me, and I didn't believe them a couple weeks ago, that everyone was just instant tasing, like immediately. In
I shoot
every
the
foot
bitch.
chase ever. And I was like, that's not happening. Like, what the hell? Like, you know,
I
like,
got
this is
good
my first thought of it.
self-awareness. I shoot them.
Boy, I've been doing a lot of watching over the last week. And it's happening. It's happening in every chase. Every time, 100% of the time, people have a taser out and they're just tasing people. I'll remove the taser.
Whoa!
If that's how it's going to be used, I will literally remove it.
Whoa, 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 whoa!
That is not the use of that. Have a little chase at least. Like, come on, guys.
Scheiße!
Sure, you can use a taser, but just chase them a little bit. Give them a chance to, like, with tackling or something. You know, like, we have the system in there for a reason. Like, you're just defaulting
This one,
to the
it's
taser.
like, I kind of agree, but at the same time, whenever that you know a car swap's going to happen, and it's like the
a taser
ninth
can be
one,
an
like,
I-win
bro,
button.
it's so
It's not
fucking
always an I-win
annoying.
button. Like,
I
I've
hear
done
what
a
he's
lot of
saying,
cop.
but
I
it's
know
just
that
like,
a lot of people get up after the taser, but
bro, we
the
get
reality is
37
like,
car swaps every day.
But yeah, Tim Mac, that's bullshit. Come on, man. Like, most foot bails, but not all. If there's no car around, then come on. You know, like, the majority of these chases that I'm referencing didn't have a car ready to get someone immediately. I get where you're coming from, but like, there are extremely bad actors in the PD. Extremely. Extremely. The taser reload won't do anything. Someone said to make the taser reload every 30 seconds. That won't matter because you have 8 cops on a scene. Someone misses, the next one tases. It does not matter. Truly. Yeah. And I'm telling you, like, the majority of these that I'm referencing did not have a car that was there already. There's a lot of cuffing people when they're not in the stun state anymore. Like, people are up and moving and people are slapping cuffs on them. Well, sorry, man. If you weren't there in time, you don't get to cuff them. Like, that's not how it works.
The tase is scuffed. Like, people are just
You don't
instantly
get to throw your
standing
cuffs
up.
at someone.
That's happening a lot.
The next thing is, like, everyone's defaulting to carrying every single criminal. Like, as soon as they're cuffed or down, just grab, toss in a car. Holy shit, we taught different than this. Listen, there is a time where you take them and you move them. Right? But do the fucking role play first. Do the role play. Take the time and just do the role play of the at least getting them in cuffs, making sure they're good. You know? Give the person a chance to walk a little bit. And if then they fuck around, then you grab them. You know how infuriating it is for a lot of people to be just grabbed and pushed around? It is so tilting for the vast majority of the 5M player base. Like, that literally is assault mine. I do it to, when I saw cops do this, I would cuff them, right? This is what I used to do them. I'd cuff them without them, like, having any chance. And then I would just hold them and I'd throw them around like a baby on cold, right? Because that's the best way for people to understand. Like, how do you like it? You know? You have no agency. Here you go. Here you go. And there's people probably in this chat I've done it to. And I've, like, dropped them in, like, in the wall or something. How do you like it? You know?
Start chatting, order food.
People, if you haven't experienced it, you don't understand it. It is really tilting, you know, to have all of your agency taken for no reason. Yeah, cops, yeah, funny is just cops just running, you're walking and then the cops just come up, you're walking to a car door and you just get grabbed. Like, use the taser in that point, you know, do something. It's just like people just have no ability to read the room or fair play at all, or try to let the encounter go. Like, I understand that a lot of people are car swapping, getting away and stuff like that, but people can't put themselves in a car anymore, guys. We made that change for you.
That's what I'm really scared of too, is people are going to be even more hesitant now.
And now people are still doing things that we
we're
had
already
implemented
getting railed
or allowed before that. And not
trust
again,
the process, man.
Adapting to the times.
I trust the process.
Yeah, of course, scoring instantly is cringe. It's absolutely cringe. Also, just grabbing people without verbalizing it. Just simple things like this. Like not saying, I'm going to grab you. I'm going to grab your arm. It's like the base level of roleplay that you can offer as a cop. I'm going to grab your arm, sir. I'm just going to get you here. I'm just going to try to get my arm under yours.
I agree with you, Tommy.
Like the opportunity for roleplay to happen. The next thing. We've seen a lot of this over the last 2 months. And before Reddit picks it up, no, I'm not talking about Curtis Ryan. Lol. Is shooting people without good faith belief after encounters. There are times, and I need people to understand that good faith belief is the main part of our SOPs. It's written, it's highlighted a ton. You need to believe that they're going to hurt you or hurt someone else, like immediately. You know, like that's the basic way to explain it. Instead, what's happening in general is that PD are just blanketly coming to conclusions. Someone went down in this vicinity. Shoot them all. Shoot all the ESB, or shoot anyone in purple. Or they held someone up. Just shoot them, like, and without any other context. Or oh, if they're holding up a cop, they should get shot immediately. What happened to role play? What happened to negotiating? If you're 200 miles away and someone's unarmed,
there's probably just a generalized statement. I don't know what this is about.
What is the fun in that? Can we like look at fair play and fun, please? Because a lot of people aren't doing that.
I think what he's saying is cops are trying to find reasons to shoot people.
Lack of ability to read the room, because there's a lot of these situations happening that are like
with
SBS, with members of the police force, and then random people are coming into the scene and just making a call to shoot people. You know how lame that is? You go with someone's bit, and then as a part of the bit, then you hold them up, and then 10 police officers show up out of nowhere and just start mag dumping you without talking to you. That's happening. I saw a bunch of civilians get gunned down days ago.
40 months, brother man.
People just need to get their shit together here and just think more than just take a second to think. That's all I'm asking for from you guys. Take a second to think before just saying no in the cells. Take a second to think before you shoot someone. Take a second to think before you just pull out your taser and tase someone. Take a second to think before you yeet someone to fucking Narnia with your police car like a battering ram. That's all I'm asking for from the PD. Is just think about your other role players. That's all I am asking.
No, this is a PD meeting, chat. Don't think Ravage is only shitting on PD. I guarantee you there will be a crim meeting later. This is us handling PD shit right now.
I know there's a lot of good people in the PD.
Yes, it seems like it's uneven, but this meeting is literally just about what we can do as cops. Fuck the criminals. They're going to be scumbags. We'll address that in a different meeting. This is a PD meeting. That's it. PD.
And we're making people within our own PD feel like shit.
It's just PD.
There's so many people within our PD that have come to me and express that they feel like on the outs, that they feel like a lot of the stuff that they see happening within the LSPD, the BCSO, the Rangers, wherever, or state police, whatnot, is they feel like this isn't the way we should be doing things, and this isn't the way we have been doing things, but they feel afraid to speak up and say anything. And like, I'm trying to fix it with Hutch and Kim and Lane and Glitchy, but like, it's impossible for these guys to fix this when if they aren't on 24/7 out of the day, they can't fix it. And that's the problem, which brings me to my last point. You need to start giving these people some respect You need to start giving these people a little bit more courtesy and love, because the amount of people that crash out over just getting a shot, about getting mild punishment in PD, about them just trying to do their jobs to run the departments and make sure that things don't devolve to the level that they have. There is a hell of a lot of entitlement in the PD right now where people just crash out over getting a shot over this, and they're saying fuck Hutch, fuck Chem, fuck Lane, fuck Glitchy, fuck Gav, fuck random NCO number 5. It's not okay, guys. Keep it in roleplay. You know, if you're upset in roleplay, that's fine. But when you're in people, and I see you, I want this to be clear. You're not slick if you're shit talking people in someone's Twitch chat. You're not slick if you're shit talking someone in a meta Discord. You're not slick even if you're talking in a Discord of more than 10 people. I'm just going to tell you. And I want to be really clear that if you think I don't see it, you're wrong. I literally get sent stuff all day that I just choose to ignore. You're not slick. And if I'm seeing it, the people you're talking about are also seeing it.
I don't mind people who shit talk me. I'm used to it.
To be real with you, like, if
it's
you
been
want
5 years, I'm
like
still a
like
summit
going
leech.
To your workplace, you know, if you're streaming, especially, or if you're going to like a club, you know, like even if it's in your like little HOA or in your small town or something, you go to like I don't fucking know, like what type of clubs do people go to these days? I don't think I've been to a club. You go to play like sports or some shit, you know, and you start like just shit talking the guys or the girls on the team, you know, and they find out about it. Are you going to be how do you think those people are going to treat you, you know, once they find out you're just shit talking them for no reason?
There it is. There it is. That's why I say everything on stream. At least you don't know, or at least you know well. I'm not saying bullshit.
The same is to be said about PD or the server in general. It's just like, I know people get frustrated, and we understand that. I'm human too. I get frustrated. Amen. I shit talk people. I've shit talked Hutch. Hutch has shit talked me.
Many of times.
I've shit talked Gav.
Many of times.
Hell, you know, like, it's the nature of the world sometimes. Like, you get frustrated and you say shit, and we get that. That's part of life, man. That's part of gaming, actually.
Amen.
We understand that.
Preach. God,
I'm not here
to
like say that.
Amen.
You know, you can't like have feelings or opinions.
Amen.
I'm just saying that, like, if you're constantly shit talking someone for just giving you a little bit of RP punishment,
preach.
And touch some grass.
Preach.
And just think about the consequences of the actions that you're taking and how it's making people within a shared space feel, because it's gotten pretty bad in my opinion from the stuff I'm seeing.
You're like, crybaby. You're retarded. It's called you are a crybaby, you moron.
Who gives a shit?
Your crybaby doesn't make any sense. Shut the fuck up. Someone get that guy a lollipop.
Good about this stuff, especially about giving people options and a path to redemption. Like, we've been good about that stuff, and most servers are not good about that stuff. We try to take a human approach. So, listen, that's what I have. The last topic that I want to put out into the aether, I talked about the other night with the PD that came there, is the LSPD. The LSPD is lacking identity right now. The BCOSO have like their thing and their vibe, and the Rangers have their vibe. The Stadies have their vibe. But the problem that we have is we started with the LSPD, and what summed it up to me the most was when you read clips that are titled "So-and-so demoted to the LSPD." Oh boy. You ain't demoted if you go to the LSPD. That is the problem. Is that is like what has happened is like that's the view we've put on the LSPD, and that's unfair. The LSPD needs to have just its own distinct culture and vibe and goals, and it needs to stick to that going forward. And we put the LSPD at a bit of a disadvantage because everyone came from the LSPD, so it looked like the starter PD, but it's not. It really is not the starter PD. It is not.
They have the most power in the fucking
LSPD
server.
Could be a cool city police force that is like community focused, you know, and focuses on like gang shit, and that's what it should be.
Yeah.
Because that's the vibe of like the LAPD. I think when most people look at it, and that's what it's based off of. So, ZB said he was demoted. Is that why that got said? ZB, I fucking hate you sometimes. I hope you know that.
But again, that's not on ZB.
Okay.
That's on the whole shtick of the LSPD.
We just need to find an identity for the LSPD.
There it is.
That's something I want to open up to people here. Like, how do we do that? How do we make that happen? How do we make all three departments feel good? And the other thing I want to open up for discussion is if people have questions, genuine questions. If you come up here, you try to read me a novel, I swear to God, guys, we don't have time.
Well, but that's the thing, right?
But if you have genuine questions,
we can say that. Like, if, for example, if we said
seen with these things or actual concerns, you can bring them up.
If we said,
I would like to bring up if Hutch is out there, if Hutch Glitchy or who else?
Fuck, do I have to talk?
Or Jess or any of like the high command. I think this is a good time where I can bring you guys in, which would make sense.
1 second.
Also, DOJ, if they want concerns or give if they want short and sweet experiences.
Alrighty.
Hello, Hutch MF.
Hello. Hi, good day. Hi, everyone. Hello, hi. I'll keep it short and sweet. Listen, I think at the end of the day, like, Prodigy is a server where we want all these streamers to be, not only to come into play, just players in general. We want them to look at the server and to say, that looks like a really fun time. That looks awesome. And to be honest with you, as someone who works directly with a lot of content creators in the space, that is what's going on. They're looking and they're going, man, that looks so much fun. It looks like it's a great time, right? They're watching me, they're watching you guys. That's the sentiment. What happens is they come and they play on the server and they are going through the things that they've watched on stream. And then it takes literally, I wish I was lying, but it's true. It takes one bad interaction with a cop for them to just not come back. And it's that simple. It's when it's going from gang to gang, that's completely different because they can get back at them, they can go to war with them, so on and so forth. But whenever we're shooting them down or we're doing something and we get them in the cells and it's like, okay, how can I make their life absolutely suck? I don't know how long a lot of you guys have been playing GTA RP, but as someone who's been doing it now going on 6.5 years, there is nothing worse than going to prison and sitting in there and feeling like it was unjustified or feeling like I got, the short end of the stick. If you're going to do SBS shit, which is fine, no one's saying you can't do it, have a little bit of feel on the back end. You don't get to choose that we're going to have fun. And then after the fun is over, now I'm going to take it serious and bend you over and not even give you a courtesy spit. That's bullshit. And it does nothing but run people away from the server. Something that I've talked about, something that Rav talks about, something that everyone here has either talked about it or seen it happen to somebody. Don't do that. Other than that, I mean, you've already touched on everything, to be honest.
And I want to give the PD right now also, it's like a weird dynamic where we have this shit happening, but we also have so much fun. What looks like so much fun happening on other parts of the PD that it's making people want to come play. But that's the other thing. It's like, this is a really weird thing where like the Rangers and the Beasts, it looks like a lot of fun. To people that don't play GTA, it looks like a ton of fucking fun. And the problem is that all this stuff is being caused by a lot of the fun sponges, if I'm going to be honest.
100%. And there's nothing against people you can have serious cop characters, guys. Like there's nothing more. I forgot the guy's name, but there's a lot of you guys who play serious cops and there's a place for you. That is completely fine. But just as I yell at some of the Rangers, you guys have probably seen me ripping in, like I'll use McLean for an example, Curtis. Whenever he pulled up to a stop and then shot, someone else's stop's car, right? Someone else's pulled over vehicle, right? If you are going into someone else's situation, that is completely different than having your own situation. If it's yours and you're doing something, you're the one who engaged in this, it's your SBS, so on and so forth, that is completely different than just rolling on someone else's scene and starting to throw out fucking demands. And this is mainly for our higher ups, our corporals, sergeants, lieutenants. Like, you guys need to be able to read the room as well. There's a difference between, someone being a shithead wannabe, like as Ravage was saying, a wannabe Barry or a wannabe Conan, and then people actually making mistakes. If people are having fun, we shouldn't pin them against a wall every single time, especially if it's done in good grace. If they fuck up, sure, but I don't swing your dicks around for no reason,
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
That's it for me. Thank you, Rav.
Okay. Anyone want to request to speak? Because I'm not reading all that in the chat. The meeting chat's moving way too fast, guys. That's gonna have to be for you guys to like talk and whatever. I can't read all that. It's not feasible for me to. So you need to raise your hand. You should be able. Everyone should be able to request in the stage.
Isn't that what you did to Tinker? Well, number one, I'm kind of blown away that that's what you took out of that, to be honest. Number two,
oh Jesus Christ,
you took
Sarah,
two different statements that I made and you conjoined them. You conjoined them. As I was saying, if it's your shit and you're doing something, I
love you, Sarah. I do. We've known each.
If it's your shit and you're doing something, you should be the person to make the calls on if it's SBS or if it's not SBS. If you're going into another person's situation, you should not be making that call. That's statement number one. Statement number two about the dick swinging. Whenever it makes sense in roleplay, for me, brother, we were in a chase. He breaks off as a lieutenant. I get shot down, murdered, my 95 gets stolen, and I'm sitting next to my car that just blew up and I'm burning alive. If you don't think that I'm justified in that situation in roleplay to be upset about it, brother, I mean, I don't know what else could possibly happen to my character in roleplay that could allow me to be upset. Like, that's mind-blowing that you think that.
Roleplay is essentially group improv, and you're saying we need to get back to that yes and that vibe.
So what's your statement,
at the beginning
Jones?
Of 2.0, where we had like read the room, like if you like, for instance, like I was SBSing with Axia one time, and then other people attached.
I know it was one guy.
Too serious when we were just literally ratting each other because we've known each other for years.
Great, thank you for the 8 months.
And I had to say, nah, it's chill, it's chill. So like if you see people doing that and you know it's SBS,
of course,
like, speak up. Like you have a voice.
Small brain syndrome means people are goofing around and then people take it serious.
It's just as bad. So
I also want to point out. I also want to point out that I run this place, right? And Jess runs the BCSO, and everyone knows that. And then you got like, who else was there from the PD the other night?
There was a couple of us. You have Alagua, who's a sergeant.
Yeah.
A couple of other people too. Like, so like, and I know you guys know it's me because I have been -1'd since I've been playing that character. Yeah. People have been calling me Leanne, so I know you fuckers know it's me.
Listen, guys, listen, you guys can fucking turn up the heat on me, like it's cool. But I will say that that's a prime example of the situation the other night of like the park rangers mining us, and then the LSPD and SASP then fucking us, fucking people for that. That is like a great example actually, because the no criminal record went away for 200+ months over an SBS situation. Completely, we were trying to kick some guy off his bike, basically, and I ended up away for 250 months. It was crazy. But that's a great idea. If it's happening to me, what I want to tell you guys is imagine what's happening to every other player, because people know it's me.
That's a genius idea. Like, actually,
I'm not stupid enough to
I don't know if it would work.
Get some form
I'll
of
have to
treatment.
ask. That's a great idea.
That's my
though.
Special treatment.
I've never thought about that. Fucking W in the chat for pro player.
What's the guy that doesn't stream? That's just starting on playing on the
W
server
in the chat. I'll bring that up to Rav. Let me write that.
I think it's like a good learning exercise of like,
I don't know if it's possible, but maybe.
What's happening to other people?
Can I just play devil's advocate on that though, real quick?
Yeah,
sure. For another point, right? My other point is I feel like there's a lot of witch hunting that goes on within PD. Certain people get brought up. For me, for example, I gave I think it was 10% once for roleplay. The RP was good. The guy requested a lawyer. Oh, there was no NCOs around. I couldn't speak to anyone, but I still give him a 10% off due to the fact, you want to reward great roleplay. And if you can take time off, you don't, like you said, you don't want to make it grueling for people. I was then brought into a room and verbally warned for doing this thing, for not doing it by the book, for just trying to reward roleplay. And I feel like
it's the
simple
key.
Solutions to that are just allowing people.
It's a great point.
Let them have some leniency, 15% off. Anything above that, yeah, sure, go to an NCO. But the ability to be able to reward people for good RP instead of, oh, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. Okay, we're going to take you into a room and yell at you. Oh, you didn't do this right. Like, people are nitpicking at reports, and they're bringing people into rooms, and people are so scared to mess up that
economy.
they you know that they're scared,
economy
so they feel like they
logic.
have to do everything by the book, and they have to give like such harsh punishments, or they will be taken into a room and told, oh, they're doing shit or they're doing something wrong. I feel like that's a very big issue as well.
There's things
turns them into robots.
There's things that you should punish fucking hard for, and then there's things that doesn't really matter. You know, like if you catch someone dead to right guns trafficking, well, fuck them.
Yep.
I want you to. Like, they took the whitelist knowing that they could get fucked. You know what I mean? If someone murders someone and did it with like intent, and it wasn't like a surprise to that person that the person murdered, they tried to kill them and the person perma'd, you know, take them to court. You know, if you have people that were like, you catch them dead to rights with like a ton of shit, you know, like in a criminal enterprise, like you find a grow op or something like that.
F the police.
Fuck them. But like the problems that I see is people are just they just go after the same people over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. You know, like Slick Rick was a good example. Who else is a good example? Momo now, yeah, by a number of the PD. It's not just like one or two people. Like it's like there's like a ton of people just targeting Momo.
And lawyers in general.
I also feel like, real quick. Yeah, can I touch on lawyers real quick? I feel like lawyers are being used as a ticket just to get time off, rather than being used in the proper way. People are like, oh, we know we're not going to get time off or anything, unless we have a lawyer there just to get time off. Like, they're not even using them for roleplay reasons. They're just using them as a ticket to get the fuck out of there. That's kind of like a big issue as well.
Well, see, I agree and disagree with you there, because it also seems at some point that officers are also using lawyers as that opportunity to give them the discount, right? And
yeah,
I think one thing I want to point out, as having worked with the DOJ for so long, is that like in character we are very adversarial, but from an out of character and a roleplay perspective, we're a team. And like the lawyers and the police, like we need to be able to work together. So when I had a question, which was like, where did this whole you need to have your client come down to the actual police station to get access to their records, like so many different sort of like stop gaps that really just prevent role play from breathing. And so many times I've wanted to be like, hey, if I could just talk to an officer, like, and we could just talk through this, we could have a good
I can't turn him up anymore, guys. I don't know what else to do here to gain him.
And
I just tried on my mixer
like
too. On max, he's on max. On mixer.
And what I want to like encourage officers to engage in that role play, because there's a lot of really rewarding things that can happen from there. And we're not just doing it because, you know, for shits and giggles. I'm sure there are some bad actors out there, but the majority of us are like really genuinely trying to represent our clients and get the best deal that we can for them. And without your cooperation, we can't do that. And so I would just advocate that we try to have a little bit more understanding when it comes to those interactions.
Yeah, this is really important, guys. We need to treat the lawyers better, because I have not found a server that bleeds lawyers faster than ours. We, whether it's criminals or our police force, we are literally churning lawyers because we just target them, and we need to chill.
Can I touch on the lawyers, please?
Listen, guys, I'm going to tell you something. I appreciate you inputting in chat. But listen, this meeting is not for me to call people out. I want to be really clear. So stop naming people in my chat. I like Drolk a lot, and I like Whippy a lot. And if I have a problem with something that they do, I'm going to bring it up to them. I don't want them getting fucking ripped in my chat. I want to be really fucking clear.
Over petty
I understand you're passionate and you care about the community and you're here, but I need you to respect that I'm not about that shit at all.
Because someone's being petty, I think needs to stop.
Like, seriously, I'm not. Like, I respect the fact that maybe you're frustrated and you're just trying to participate in chat. I genuinely understand. But Whippy and Drolk are cool fucking people. Curtis is a cool fucking person. I've seen other people's names drop in here. I fuck with all these people. I'd buy them a beer. And despite what might make some people here get pissed off,
and that to me is incredibly
I'd let them stay in my fucking house. Right. I'll go hang out with Curtis today.
Like, I've definitely seen that there is like
stop shitting on these people.
Disdain towards defense attorneys, and that anyone who is remotely trying to work towards.
Listen, I had my crazy RP moments in 2020. Okay,
I already interesting story.
I've learned from that, and I'm not letting people get shit on.
Avenues for that, and people aren't willing to to kind of yes and when it comes
to. Oh,
he's
just talking on a stream. We're watching Ravage
stream. Been burned in the past, but like, let's not let that be our entire understanding of what the DOJ does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say sorry. Is it, can you guys hear me? By the way, my microphone's a bit.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yes, but we're having an
God
out
knows
of
I've got
character
a lot of
meeting.
issues that I'm working on, so I'm here to ask just a couple of
So the
questions
minute
as well,
you
just to get
mention Croc as
clarifications.
doing something that's an out of
on a
character
few
problem,
things,
you're
'cause I
linking
remember
him
when
to
I
the
first
out of
started
character
as a
problem.
the SBS thing real quick, because I just need like real quick clarification. I used to get involved in a lot of SBS stuff, and I remember one specific time when there was sort of a clown and a friend of mine. They were in an SBS scenario. One of them stole a car, and the other one stabbed the other, and then he picked him back up. And I remember an officer coming in, who was a senior officer at the time, had come in, basically arrested one of the guys, one of the clowns. And I was trying to explain to him that this was a thing between the clowns. There was no need to arrest them. And I was reprimanded later on because I was talking back to a senior officer who had nothing to do with the scene. And basically should not be talking about SBS or whatever it is when it comes to policing, because we're police officers. We're supposed to just enforce the law. And so since then, I've been trying to step away from SBS scenarios, because anytime I get burned by something like that, I'm always constantly worried that I'm making mistakes. So I'm always trying to stay away from things that could put me in those situations, right? So I've stayed away from SBS, even though I prefer it a lot more than our regular policing. So how do we communicate to someone who is a higher rank than us, for example, giving us the order as police officers or deputies or whatever rank we are? How do we communicate that this is a scenario that had started at SBS and we don't want to throw the book at them?
I will talk.
Throw the book at them.
Just don't throw the book at them. You don't have to. You can just not do it. And you also don't have to talk back to the officer. To be honest, and like, I know you mean well, but Mario, I've heard you talk back. Like, it's not just. I doubt it's isolated to that incident. You know what I mean? But I hear you, and I will make sure that command is well aware from this point onward that we have to separate these scenarios. Like, we have to.
Yeah. And I do want to say, I know you guys. I'm really trying to work. I'm working on it. I really am. I've got issues that I'm working on, so I'm really sorry that I've.
Add me in there, Rav.
Listen, dude, I don't mind. Like, on a character level, I don't give a shit. The only thing I give a shit about is like, you just got to realize that if you do it, you're gonna get in trouble in character, and that's just what it is.
Well, and that's another big thing. I wanted to jump back in here and answer that. As someone who primarily does a lot of SBS shit, you also have to recognize who your character is, right? So like for me with Bustin, I can get away with a lot more because I have a high rank in the PD. If you're an officer or a probation officer and you're just starting to get your feet wet and you're doing SPS stuff or you're doing these situations that can get you in trouble, Rav has mentioned it many a times before. Like, just because it's quote unquote SBS, it doesn't mean that you are absolved or the crim is absolved of consequences for said SBS, right? So you could start an SBS scene and everyone's goofing around, everyone's having a fun time. And then when it goes south, you're still getting in trouble. Just because it's SBS doesn't mean it's like, oh, okay, guys, let's just end the scene. You know what I mean? So I think a lot of that comes with trial and error. And being able to, we call it, riding that line, being able to ride that line well enough, but also not stepping out of what you can do as your rank. Does that make sense?
Let me be clear. If you're initiating the SBS as the cop, that is where the problem is. But that's what we have happen on a lot, is the cop initiates the SBS. And if cops or departments are initiating the SBS, that is, for me, like the biggest determining factor. If you set something in motion, you did that. You know what I mean? And that's where people need to be given grace.
Cowboy,
I'm not saying, like,
I don't care.
The criminal's like, I'm doing
it.
SBS, That's not always an excuse, because the criminal could be going to a serious scene and doing SBS, and that doesn't absolve them, right? They should get fucked for that. But if the Rangers, an example, do something and then people respond to it, that is a full ass SPS. Because what ends up happening? If we're charging the criminals to the nines, right, for something that comes from that type of shit,
small brains.
Then we have to. Then the criminals are going to push back on corruption.
Stupid shit
and then
for fun
the new problem we have now
because we're actually
is
trying
Ranger
to like get
XYZ
people,
or LSPD XYZ is now up on corruption allegations and then potential charges and IA investigations. And a lot of times for like genuine SPS scenarios, that's not fun for the cop.
Can I touch on
Yeah,
the
I think
SBS? From my point of view, obviously we're all officers, and SBS is fine. But I think what I'm finding is sometimes the crims take it a little bit too far. So they do pull out a gun and shoot, or they do stab, and that is when we need to step in. I understand we don't throw the book at them because it did stem from SBS.
Thank you, baby.
But I think that also needs to be that recognition from the crims
Thank
point
you,
of view
baby.
that we are still officers of the
Love you.
law, and we can't watch you just stab someone.
right. I think, to be honest, what I'm on.
But
what
who's
I'm learning
talking
is
about
I need-
that though? Like that's we have not even touched on that. We're talking about sentencing.
Yeah, that's what.
I'm gonna jump out of here again. I'd rather watch on Rap stream.
Because they were going for like yeah, they wanted to.
That's
Yeah, I think what
fine.
I'm learning is I need a little bit more time in RP before I can walk that line. So I'm just gonna.
A lot of people do, man. Like that's not uncommon or bad to say. Like a lot of people, it takes years to walk that line, and that's why I'm cautioning people. Like if you're walking that line and you don't have the RP experience or the knowledge to do
Love you,
it,
baby.
you shouldn't do it.
I think it also comes down to the fact of, okay, if you're going along that, is all it is literally using common sense and read the room. I feel like a lot of people struggle with that, and that's the biggest issue. Is if it's not that serious and it's not fucking nothing went wrong and it's not crazy, just it's okay to
No, you're getting one man courage.
role
We're
play
all
over
good.
role play, right? And do a lot.
We're doing
of things
a
that way
cop
instead of
community
just,
meeting, trying to get
everyone
on the same page.
Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should do.
What's up,
do
baby?
That, right? Just because
What'd you do today? I didn't see you in the server.
Fuck them over doesn't mean you should. If like you said, if it comes from SBS, just be not. It doesn't have to be that serious. I feel like that's all it is. Read the room. That's what it comes down to.
If I could touch on a couple of things with that, I see a lot of people.
Just a quick note, since we're talking about sentencing, I just really want to say this since we're having this meeting. Time served.
Hold on,
needs
dude.
To
Hold,
exist in some form that is staff dev supported.
Hello?
Just saying that before we move on.
Okay. I love you, but I'm going to mute you because you just talked over Tim. So just
Yeah,
you can talk when he's done.
So there's a lot of ways you can assert your leniency in ways where like we can tell when someone's getting actually kind of upset. You can tell if at least I can over the years.
He's at max.
Someone's getting
guys.
Really upset about stuff. But you can't hear me?
Yeah, you're a little low. I've got you up on 200%. That's a
it
little better. Oh, you're
Sorry,
doing the lean back.
You're
doing the Tim Mac lean back.
Yeah, no, I'm right up on it. But anyway, just so you know, like if you're trying to give leniency to someone that's having like major, like you can tell they're getting stressed out behind their character, throw them a bone. Like don't like they're like at that point where they're ready to fucking walk from shit. And if you can help them in any way, just do it. If you come up to me after you do something like that and you're like, yo, this guy was getting really upset, I figured I'd just drop a couple charges. You just fucking do it. Like drop it to an accessory, do whatever. In terms of like the SBS shit, you should always come into a scene with like a standard of behavior and adapt to whatever is getting thrown at you. If shit gets serious, that's where you level off right there. You don't adjust from that. You don't go back and forth. If things get serious, stay there and you'll be fine. But flip-flopping on SBS and like, serious type of attitude is never a good thing unless you're
12-hour stream
to them.
Hey man, we're chilling.
But they can't do it more than once. Just remember that way. A lot of times people don't realize you can drop a charge. We let cars go all the time. We let a car is completely stolen. The thing's beat up. They just ran from a shoe store or whatever. You're letting it go. You still have that option in the cells with their charges. It doesn't just like, it's not like, oh, if you don't process them, you can't do it. So just like have a bit of fairness with it. If someone's using a lawyer as a coupon, just note those shits down because that's kind of like, I don't know. You can call them up and be like, this guy's calling you down because a fucking coupon code. This is, we need or something like that. I hate that. If people are doing that,
We're
just
probably gonna
drop
wrap
a
this
fucking
up
charge
after
into
the next speaker
and just let them go with it because I don't
yes,
really want
please.
to waste anybody's time with that.
Tim's making a really good point here.
Lawyers are important. Give them the common courtesy when they come into the cells. Treat them with respect. And if someone is requesting a lawyer, that doesn't mean you have to stop talking to him and let him sit there and rot in a cell for 15 minutes while the lawyer's showing up. You can still talk to him. You can have a conversation. You may not be able to ask questions, but give him at least the benefit of the doubt and just don't let him rot.
I got the blip thing written down. I'll talk to Rav about that later.
I hate that shit. Anyway, those are my points. That's all I got.
Yeah, good points from a pretty seasoned role player. From that old man.
Yeah, I've asked my questions. I appreciate you guys listening and answering. I'll see you guys.
Thanks, dude.
How do I leave?
All right, Steven, you can make your point now, buddy.
All right, thank you. I was just trying to say that I really think we need to have time served in some way that is dev supported, because we can't have it be just by something that they're doing in character, because somebody's going to end up abusing that in some way. But there's been a lot of situations.
Then you fucking remove them.
Get, like a 10-month charge, but they're in the cells for 30 minutes.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Rav's gonna be pissed. He's gonna say that that's a processing issue, not a dev supported issue.
Yeah, listen. Yeah, I mean, listen, guys. I was in there 2 hours the other night, and I ate that shit and get 1 fucking ounce of reduction. So I know it's happening because it's even happened to me. So I've already put it as something we need to look at, because and I've no. I talked to actually Kevin a while back, and I think it was back in June, and I said we probably should give people time served, and I think at the time,
absolutely,
I think we needed to. And
I agree with that.
I wonder if his opinions changed, or if the criminals in general opinion has changed lately, because the cell times have been pretty gnarly. But I'll look into it a little bit.
Love you.
Yep, love you too. Go back to your bathtub.
Yeah, I'm still gonna be here for a bit.
Okay. Okay. I think that's where we can safely end this, guys. I think we've had a good discussion here. We are now at the hour mark, and I think that should. I think we've had a good discussion. I think the next steps from this are we need to try to take this and push it to reality.
If it's not court charge related, anyone who's in those cells for longer than 45 months
give
gets set
lawyers
free.
more grace. Work with them more.
I guarantee you
more.
that it would
Let's
solve
try to
it.
be more, more mindful when we're in these chases and with tasers and that type of shit. I think that's where we are.
What is it?
We need to draw the line.
What sandwich shop was like, or was it Domino's or somewhere that was like, if you don't get your pizza in X amount of time, you get it for free?
Thinking about that, because I want to institute.
You don't get processed in 45 minutes. You get to let go.
The other thing I want to bring up: let's not let this shit fester as much, and it shouldn't. Especially with the time I'm going to be able to devote to the space, the overall GTA project. Seeing I'm going full time with Loaded on Monday, there should be a lot more time that I can take the time to actually give back to you guys, in terms of if you have actual issues where you can actually reach out to me. And I might not miss a DM because I'm working on and burning on both ends. So
great meeting, bro. WRAV in the chat.
Burning on both ends is the same.
WRAV in the chat
probably means that you ate too much Mexican
food. WRAV in the chat.
Just some saying of that variety that I'm no longer doing.
A great meeting.
Okay. So I have the time.
Much needed meeting. I can hear Tim Mac ripping his vape
with PD any longer. No, we're gonna make Steven. Okay. Hope you guys have a great day.
WRAV. Fantastic meeting. Needed, well executed, short, sweet, somewhat short,
Hell
sweet.
Yeah.
W. Absolutely fantastic meeting. I think that he addressed everything that needed to be addressed, to be honest. Like, and another thing, like, a lot of people sit here, we talked about on stream, like the 10-minute spike shit and the cops getting nerfed, Crims being strong. What I'll say is that this meeting, it was about cops. That's why there was nothing talked about Crims. Listen, Crims are their own problems, Crims are their own problems. But the reality is, paint time. The reality is like when you're role playing, everyone is going across a road, right? You got the Crims on one side, you got the cops on the other side. And where RP happens, it's when this road intersects, right? It's when this road conjoins. And this is when RP happens. The problem is whenever the cop RP is dog shit, we go here. When the Crim RP is dog shit, we go here. We have to find a way together to merge and have a good roleplay experience for everybody through the merge when cops and Crims meet together for roleplay, right? You don't achieve that by addressing everyone at the same time. You achieve that by addressing the cops and by addressing the Crims and trying to get both sides to conjoin the right way. That's the reality. If we took 5,000 people Every person that's ever played Prodigy and had one meeting for everyone, I guarantee you we achieve less than taking the cops, taking the crims, then taking both. Because you can have more centralized discussions over one group of people rather than having, well, crims do this. Oh, well, cops do this. Oh, well, crims do this. Oh, well, cops do this. Like, we have to have a standard of role play for cops. If that's your SBS standard, if that's your serious cop standard, if that's your whatever else standard, there has to be a standard there. And it's okay to deviate, but you can't deviate to the point where it's a bad experience for the people you're role playing with, because nobody wants to deal with it. My job and my whole existence in Prodigy is to make it an enjoyable experience. For a very long time, this is not a jab at anyone or any server. For a very long time, role-playing was treated like it was your second job. Role-playing was treated like by doing something in character, you're doing something OOC and you're a piece of shit or whatever. For example, like the Curtis talking shit thing. People were blowing things out of proportion that didn't need to. That is not what we're doing as a Prodigy team. It is not, and we will not do that. We don't want to do it. We will not be those people. Hell, Curtis called Gav a cocksucker and said that Gav sucked his way to the top and didn't even get fucking punished for it, you know? Like, I'd like to think Prodigy is pretty fucking good on understanding that people are allowed to be pissed and that people get pissed, you know? It's okay. But whenever we have criminals literally going to Rav, and this is a real thing, and they're going, man, I love playing on Prodigy, but dude, sometimes whenever I'm getting arrested, it's a miserable experience dealing with LSPD or dealing with, you know, I'm gonna be honest, right now it's, other than maybe Kyle, it's pretty predominantly LSPD, and that's not shots at anyone. I mean, when LSPD is 95% of the cops on the server, it's bound to be an LSPD problem. But I guarantee you we've had complaints about us too, right, as Rangers. So, you know, it's a matter of all of us as officers, as cops in this fucking roleplay server, in this video game that we play. Our main goal, every single one of us, should be to have a great time and for the people dealing with us to also have a great time. If you're a cop player, if you're a crim player, that should be your goal. Your goal should be to get on the server and to have fun with other people in a way that both sides, crim and cop, are enjoying themselves. People are going to lose. People are going to get salty about losing, and that is okay. But as long as you're doing things in a playful and enjoyable manner, or even if you're being a hard-ass cop, you're still doing that in a way that you're not just trying to ruin someone's entire month of hard work, then you're good, you know? And there's times that you should ruin people's hard work. Like when we raided, you know, what's it called, Block, and we took their house. That makes sense. They did enough bullshit. They grinded. We caught them with their pants down. You pinned them to the wall. That makes sense. But shooting someone down for some one-off and then charging them for 300 months because, oh, this, that, and the other, that doesn't make any sense. And it shouldn't be done. And again, I'm talking about cops right now. These criminal cocksucking fucking pussies who car swapped 97 times because of a traffic ticket. Also a very big problem that will be addressed. Cops aren't the only problems in the server. There's a lot of problems in the server. But again, we were focusing on the cops today. Rav was focusing on the cops today. So, chat, awesome day.